This is unbelievable. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video. Let's get into it right away. Alright, now I do have a variety of updates for you right here in this video, so let's buzz our way through these one at a time. Alright, so earlier today, Elizabeth Warren, who happens to be one of the Democratic senators, was out in an interview and suggested that Democrats need to deliver for the American people prior to the midterm elections. Otherwise, Democrats are going to lose big during the midterm elections. Now, these are not my words. These are the words right out of Elizabeth Warren, who, like I said, is one of the Democratic senators. Now, if you're not familiar with who she is actually one of the Democrats who has signed on to many different proposals and a lot of pieces of legislation that we've covered right here on the channel over the last couple years. In fact, she is very similar to Bernie Sanders. Now, I totally get it. Bernie Sanders is an independent. He is not technically a Democrat, but politically, these two are very, very similar. Let me tell you one more instance where you probably remember Elizabeth Warren. This name probably rings a bell when I say this much. Remember back in early 2020, the $200 per month raise for Social Security beneficiaries? Well, Elizabeth Warren was one of the Democratic senators who signed on to that. It was Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, and Ron Wyden. Yeah, now you remember now, right? I'm sure that rings a bell now that you remember the name that I just threw out there. So yes, this is Elizabeth Warren. She was out earlier today, and she is basically saying Democrats, they need to deliver in a big, big way within the next few months here before the midterm elections. Otherwise, they're going to lose big with the midterm elections. Now, again, I just want to make it very clear, these are not my words. I do not take sides in my videos. This is simply the words right out of one of the Democrats. So they're recognizing very clearly here that they need to do something really, really big here going forward. So let's quickly get into the next story here. But really quickly before we do, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe down below. I'm your one and only daily advocate. I'm literally doing research all day, every single day, literally 7 days a week. Yes, even on the weekends, doing research all day, breaking it down into these short videos so that you can stay updated with everything going on during this very busy time as things are changing very rapidly. So again, if you haven't done so, please make sure to subscribe. There's that button right down below the video so you don't miss any updates going forward, and I'll continue to be here for you with that information. All right, let's buzz into the next top headline here. This one has been floating around. I've seen it a number of different times here today, and I want to point this out for you because honestly, we probably all thought this was long gone, but it's not. COVID. Let me take a minute and talk about this. So here's what's going on. This new variant is actually spreading around the United States. Here's what it comes down to. The name of the new variant. It's BA1.12.1. Okay, whatever that means. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what that means. But the point is, this is what the new variant is being called. BA and then all these dots and numbers, mostly ones and twos. Anyway, whatever that means, it's the new variant that is going around the United States now. It's spreading around, and apparently, according to the research and what I've been finding, this is the new dominant variant in the United States as well as in a variety of European countries as well. Very interesting, right? At the same time, we certainly don't want this. But just when we thought like the whole COVID thing was like gone and we were going back to normal lifestyles, even the mask mandates on planes, trains, and buses has been dropped. Wow. We thought that was going to be like the last thing in the world to be dropped. And it pretty much was, actually, just to be bring you all the facts here. It pretty much was one of the last restrictions that we've had out there. But anyway, now COVID, once again, is apparently spreading around the country and a lot of other countries over in the European countries as well. So as long as we're talking about COVID, let me quickly give you an update on what's going on in China. Now, again, you probably wonder, why do we care about China? We actually care a lot about China because here's why. In the United States, we import a ton of stuff out of China. If you don't believe me, go flip over anything that you have laying around your house right now. There's probably going to be a little sticker on the bottom or something printed on the bottom that says Made in China. You've probably seen it before. Pretty much everything. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. Made in China, made in Taiwan, made in, wherever. My point is, we got to watch China very closely because here's the thing. a lot of the supply chain issues that are going on right now are because of a lot of the large freighters that come across the Pacific from China over to here, and then we send them back with empty containers and all kinds of stuff. You know how the routine goes. But the deal is, in China right now, they are still locked down across multiple different cities, millions upon millions of people. In fact, I just saw that they apparently just hit their record number of COVID deaths in a single day, 39 people. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, every life is very, very important, but I'm just saying, we're doing a lot more than that right here in the United States. We're doing a few hundred every single day. And again, that's not a good thing, right? Of course, every single person is very, very valuable. It's a very sad situation. But the deal is in China, they have a zero COVID policy, essentially zero. Zero means zero in China. Here in the United States, we have pretty much, I don't know what the policies are on COVID anymore, but the policies over there are essentially zero COVID. Well, they're in massive lockdowns, and what I saw a couple days ago is that they were going to possibly be lifting some of these restrictions and lockdowns, but again, it sounds like as of today, lockdowns are still in full force over in China. But here's the thing, why do we care about this? Well, we care because if these people are locked down and they can't get over to wherever they work, if the ports aren't operating fully, if all of these manufacturing plants and all the stuff that goes on over there, if their industry and their economy is not going as it should be because people are locked down and stuck at home or wherever they're stuck, that just means it's going to actually snag up the supply chain even more, and it's going to take even longer to alleviate some of those pressures. And remember too, it takes a very, very long time to alleviate the supply chain issues, right? Because they got to produce more. At the same time, they got to get that product out the door into containers, onto freighters across the ocean, unloaded here, onto trains or onto semis and across the country, onto store shelves. I mean, seriously, it takes a very long time. I think you get the process, right? So the point is, if we get another snarl in the supply chain right now, it's just going to back things up even more for all of us right here at home. And unfortunately, it may even drive prices higher simply because of the same supply and demand issues and concerns that I've been talking about in previous videos over the last few months here. It's literally just the same old basic supply and demand situation, whereas there's not that much supply. Equal or more demand equals prices must go higher. Just simple economics. So that's basically what it comes down to is if they can't get the products manufactured and over to us for us to buy and consume, well, then you go, this has, once again, the supply chain issues and possibly even price increases on a lot of things. So even though, China, what's going on over there is completely different from over here, at the end of the day, it does impact us directly. It impacts us on our store shelves. It impacts us in our wallets and our bank accounts. Yeah, that's why we care, right? So anyway, yeah, I just want to keep you posted with all this stuff going on. All right, let me tell you something else going on. I just came across this report, and honestly, I had to read it a few times because I could not believe what I was reading. Here's what it comes down to. Used car prices. This is unbelievable. You'll never guess these numbers. Honestly, I never would have ever guessed these numbers if this was thrown out and somebody asked me. I came across this report, like I said. I had to read it a couple times because I honestly was not believing what I was reading. Here's what it comes down to. Last year, March of 2021 until March of 2022, guess how much the average used car went up in price? Just throw out a random number. I'm going to guess it's probably low, just because I never would have guessed this much either. But from last March 2021 until March of 2022, the average used car increased in price by $8,000. $8,000. That's a lot of money. I mean, that alone is a used car. $8,000 is a used car, and that's a pretty nice used car even, right? So the average price increased, not went up to $8,000. No, it went up by $8,000. Now get this. The average price of a used car in March of 2022 was $27,246. Was that a mistake? I'm pretty sure they meant to say a new car, right? No, they did not say new car. They said used car. The average price of a used car in March of 2022, $27,246. That's up $8,000 from just a year ago. So that means last year, the same car would have cost $19,246. So, yeah, figure that one out, right? Not a good situation, which, by the way, prices are up 30.4% just in the last year on a percentage basis. That's what they're saying. So, anyway, very interesting report. I'm not sure if you're out in the market to buy a used car, but I'm going to say I hope you're not, because these are very inflated prices, and hopefully these prices will come down at some point. But again, a lot of this comes back to the supply chain issues because we have all of these chip shortages, right? They're manufacturing all these new cars, but the problem is they're missing a couple computer chips and they can't really push them out into the public because they're missing a few chips. So anyway, back to the supply chain issues. So anyway, very interesting stuff going on out there. It's a weird world that we're living in today. There's a lot of weird updates out there, but I like to bring these to you just so you have an idea of what is actually going on out in the world. And I find a lot of this stuff pretty interesting as well. So, all right, one more little piece here for you, and then I'll let you go. So Congress, they will be back starting tomorrow. They'll be back and they'll be, doing whatever Congress does, probably sitting around, sipping a bunch of coffee and talking about their weekend and Easter and all kinds of stuff. Who knows what they're going to be doing. But anyway, apparently the word on the street right now is that the president will be reaching out to Congress, calling on them for additional COVID relief this week. We'll see about that, right? I'm not going to throw my opinion in here because honestly, nobody cares and it doesn't really matter. But the fact of the matter is, apparently the president is going to be asking Congress for additional COVID relief this week. And we'll see if Congress actually gets anything done, if they entertain the idea, if they dismiss it automatically, if they expand on it, if they run with it, if they bring back the Build Back Better agenda, otherwise known as the stimulus package or the newly revised version of it. That's all up in the air, and I guess we're only a few hours away from finding that out. So, anyway, these are the updates that I have for you as of right now. Again, just a bunch of random reports, but the deal is some really weird and honestly unbelievable things that are going on out there right now, not only in this country, the United States, but as well as around the entire world right now. There's just a lot of weird stuff. Anyway, yeah. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to throw this out there as well. Again, I don't want to scare anybody, but I just want to throw this out there. Kind of weird stuff. I saw this report. I had no intentions of talking about it, but literally I just thought of it as I was just kind of wrapping up this video. I came across a report a little while ago that said they're anticipating that global food, as in like all the food globally, will be running out of food in 27 years. So in 27 years from right now, the anticipation is we'll be out of food. That's it. Why? Because of overpopulation. That's what they said. So who knows? I guess we'll have to wait 27 years or thereabout to see if this prediction is right. Good thing it's 27 years and not like 27 days or 27 months or anything like that. 27 years, I think all of us, we'll figure that out when the time comes, right? I don't think we need to stock up on canned food right now. It's probably not going to be any good. Unless you like petrified beans in 27 years, right? All right, anyway, I know I'm a super big dork loser. I know. Anyway, I'm just here for you. I'm doing whatever I can. Trust me. I know sometimes I get beat up in the comment section, but either way, I come back with my black eyes and whatever else, and the little guys over my shoulder, they're my little mascots now because it seems like these days, they might be the only ones that believe in me anymore. But anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I can be, so please leave your comments and questions down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and enjoy your day. I'll catch you again later in the next video.